Students, this is your English class, class 12. Today we are going to discuss question paper of PT1. This is part 2 of the video and we are going to take up subjective questions. This is your question 1. It is notice writing and it is for 4 marks. The question is, very soon your school is going to be a center for CBSE examinations. You have seen that during lunch break, students of junior classes keep going around the examination rooms and make all kind of noises. You are Shweta or Sujal, the head girl or head boy of RP Public School Indore. Write a notice in 50 words warning such students not to go near the examination rooms. Students, let's understand the bifurcation of marks first. Notice writing is for 4 marks. 1 mark is for format. Content is for 2 marks. Expression, which includes grammatical accuracy and spellings, is for 1 mark. This is the notice writing format, which is for 1 mark. On the top center inside the box, you are going to write down the name of the organization or office or institution issuing the notice. And then in the next line, you will have to write down the word notice. And then in the next line, towards the extreme left inside the box, you are going to write down the date in its expanded form. And then in next line, you are going to write down the heading or the subject of the notice. After leaving a line, you will be writing the content of the notice or body of the notice. After that, you are going to leave a line and then the name of the person who is writing this notice. And then comes the name in the block letters, that is all capital letters. And after that, in brackets, you are going to write down the designation of the person issuing the notice. So inside the box on the top center, we have written the name of the school, that is RP Public School, and then comma and the name of the place, that is Indore, as given in the question paper. And it is written in block letters. In the next line, we have written the word notice in block letters. And then in the next line, the date is written in its expanded form, that is 26th May 2020, and it is written towards the extreme left inside the box. After leaving a line, we have written the heading of the notice or the subject of the notice. And then we have written the content or the body of the notice. After leaving a line, we have written the name of the person issuing this notice, that is Shweta or Sujal. You have to write only one name and that too in running hand. And then in the next line, you are going to write the name of the person in block letters. And at the end, you are going to write down the designation of the person issuing this notice. Here you can write down either head girl or head boy. This is a checklist for writing notices, issuing warning or instruction. You can include the following points in your content. Target audience, that is the students of junior school or junior classes. Specific instructions like list of do's and don'ts or warnings. Here these students are warned not to go near the examination rooms. Consequences or punitive action. Strict action can be taken against the defaulters who will not follow the instructions. Details of issuing authority. We have written the name of the head girl or head boy. This is question 2. Answer the following questions in 80 to 100 words. As it is PT1, so the word limit is kept 80 to 100 words. But in your half yearlies, in your pre-boards and in your final exams, that is board exams, the word limit for long question answers will be 120 to 150 words. The marks allotted to this question is 6 marks. There are 2 options given. You have to choose any one. Giving bribe is an evil practice. How did the Tiger King bribe the British officer to save his kingdom? How do you view this act of his? Or justify the title of the lesson, Lost Spring. Let's discuss the bifurcation of marks now. The question is for 6 marks. 3 marks are for content and 3 marks are for expression. Students, now let's take up the first option for question 2 first. Giving bribe is an evil practice. How did the Tiger King bribe the British officer to save his kingdom? How do you view this act of his? This is a sample response or a sample answer. Any other relevant explanation is also acceptable. After refusing permission to the British officer to hunt in his territory, the Tiger King feared threat to his kingdom. To save it, he sent many precious diamond rings to the British officer's wife as bribe. The Tiger King expected her to influence her husband in not taking any harsh decision against him. This act of the Tiger King shows that he too was a corrupt man. Giving bribe is as much a corrupt practice as taking it. Here, the king resorts to a degrading act for his personal gain. That is why, when the greedy woman, instead of selecting a few rings, retained all and returned merely a note of thanks, the reader does not feel any sympathy for the king. It is actually amusing to see him having paid back in the same coin. Besides, this bribe did not guarantee any immunity from the British officer's wrath. Perhaps it made the king a vulnerable target that could easily be exploited. This is question 2, option 2. Justify the title of the lesson, Lost Spring. And this is a sample response or a sample answer. Any other relevant explanation is also acceptable. Students, now we are going to discuss about the title of the lesson, Lost Spring. Lost Spring, Stories of Stolen Childhood is an apt title. The season of spring is full of freshness, colors, fragrance, and growth. We see the nature blooming in spring. Spring season is source of joy for everyone. We know that different phases of human life are generally compared with different seasons. Childhood is considered as the spring season of human life. And the children, like spring, are a source of happiness for us. But unfortunately, many children, like Sahib and Mukesh, do not experience spring in their lives. They cannot play and enjoy like normal children. Their circumstances do not let them dream or bloom. Their childhood is lost in doing hard labor while supporting themselves and their poverty-stricken families. They remain deprived of education, happiness, and opportunities to change their fate. So, the title Lost Spring, Stories of Stolen Childhood is apt. It indicates that the childhood of many children, like Sahib and Mukesh, is a lost spring.